Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the Carbootcrafter, and I'm coming on with another Halloween project. Countdown to Halloween to get us in the mood. And this one is a real fun project that I'm doing for the kids really. So let me show you. So we have a flattened pumpkin, but if I move my hands away, it jumps. So literally you just fold it down. You could put it in a card or just use it for decoration, as I'm going to. But then once I show the kids how they jump, I'm sure they won't be decorations for long. They'll be playthings. So let me show you how you make it. I'll pop that to one side and bring in what you need. So you're going to get yourself off to the robives.com website. And while you're on there, guys, have a good mooch, because there's absolutely oodles of downloadables like this that you can make, not just for Halloween, but for all times, all sorts of times of the year. So once you've downloaded it, you're going to then cut out all of these pieces. So cut them out. Now I've used I've used my knife to do it, but they're straight pieces. Most of the edges, as you can see, are just straight. So they were very easy to cut with the knife, but if you're not happy using a knife, you can use scissors, really easy. The hardest part was just getting around that little bit there on the inside of this tab there. That was the hardest part, but with the knife it was easier than it would have been maybe otherwise. So cut everything out, and I've looking at this now, I'm thinking I could actually just get my pencil and draw inside the negative, and I've got another one that I could cut out later. Ooh. So yeah, so let me pop that back. So robives.com, I will leave a link in the description box below for you to have a look. And once you've got your pieces, so these are the two main pieces, this is your stalk, these two little pieces here, and I think I've done it wrong with this one, so I'm going to have a go at what I think I should have done in the first place with these ones. So I'll pop them there for now. So once you've got them all cut out, you're going to bring in your ruler, and you will see that you've got two different, they're slightly different. So one's the top because we've got the eyes on there, one's the bottom because we've got the mouth, and they line up like that. And you'll see on this one you've got the tabs. So the top one has got all these little tabs on here, and these are the bits that we use to glue them together. So the first thing you're going to do is grab your ruler and line it up where the, let me just bring it up to the camera, so where the grey meets the orange, we need to put in a score line like that. So line up your ruler along that line, have a tiny little bit of the orange showing, just so as you can see the line where the grey is, and then just run your score tool over it a few times like that. Then move on to the next one, and once you've done that, it should be fairly easy to just fold them over like that. And there's our tabs. I haven't used the bone folder to reinforce that, because when they join up together, they will occasionally lay flat, but most of the time they're going to be in that position. So I haven't overly reinforced the crease marks on this. And you're just going to work your way all the way around and score and fold, score and fold. And once you've done that, we now need to make our top, the top of our pumpkin. So again, line up and run your score tool along there. Let me show you on this one, because I haven't quite finished doing this one. So you're going to line up that corner here with this corner here. So line up your ruler along there, grab your ball tool or your bone folder, whatever you're using, and reinforce that backwards and forwards a few times just to break up those fibres. And once you've done that, you can fold really easily, and keep on going all the way around so that we get our square top, or in this case square bottom. So that's the second one. Move on to our third one, and you're going to do that on the top and the bottom. I've already done the top one, all my scoring and folding on that one. So you're going to keep going all the way around till you get your square like that. And when you've done that, we now have to put in some more crease marks to get the shape that we need for the top or the bottom of our pumpkin. So as you can see, there's little triangles here on the top and the bottom that give it that kind of pumpkin circular shape. So to create that, let me show you on the top one. I've already done the top one. What you're going to do is grab your ruler, and you need to create a line from here to between your tabs, your tags, the tabs there. So pop your bone folder in the middle there to there, reinforce that score line, and once you're happy, do the next one. So again, we want to go from that corner to between the two tabs there. I'm going to pop my ruler there and go backwards and forwards a few times with my bone folder, and once I'm happy, I then fold over both sides to create that sort of triangle. So there's the square that we've just made at the top, and then there's my triangle that we've just created between our two tabs, and you're going to do the same on each one of those. So we've got our triangle. So you're aiming with this one, you're aiming between those two tabs in that middle bit. So from this corner to between those two, we need to be putting a score line in, and then from this corner to the top in the middle of those two score lines with tabs, we're putting another one like that, and then we create our triangular shape there. So we've got the tabs that we've created, we've got the two sides and the triangle, and then our sort of square on the top. So that's the top one. With the bottom one, it's exactly the same. So you've gone all the way around and you've created that sort of square shape for the base, which will sit like that. And to do, you do exactly the same as we've just done here, but you haven't got the tabs. But what you have got is you've got that point there. So you're going to bring in your ruler. Same with this one, you can aim for the point just the side of your one tab here. You've got a tab here and a tab there. So you're aiming to just there. So grab your ruler, pop it on. So from this corner here to just that side of this tab, and put in your score lines. Backwards and forwards, break those fibres. You don't need to lean on really heavily, just go over a few times, making sure your ruler doesn't slip. Then bring in your ruler, and we're going to do exactly the same this side. So we're going to go from this point here that we were just aiming for with that score line. So we're going to go from there down to this side here. So again, pop your ball tool or your bone folder, whatever you're using, line it up really carefully from that corner, that point, to this point, and again backwards and forwards with your bone folder, ball tool, whatever you're using. Break those fibres, and then it's much easier then to do your fold, because it just naturally wants to go along where you've broken those fibres. So that side and then that side. Okay, so that's how to do those two ends. These two, you don't have any tabs there at all, But what you are going to do is you're going to aim for that point there. As you can see, there's a straight line here. Let me find something to put against. Let's bring that in. So you can see there's a straight line here and a straight line here, and they come to a point there. So that's what we're going to use as our visual reference with this one. So I'll leave it on here, bring in my ruler. So I'm lining up again in this corner with my ruler. Then I'm going to bring it up to that point there. So that I've got that as a visual reference. And then I'm going to do exactly the same and create a score line on there. Backwards and forwards, straight lines, breaking those fibres. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So I'm popping my ball tool right in that V there. I'm going to bring in my ruler and I'm going to swing it round till it meets that point there. It's not much of a point, it's a gentle point, so but it is there. And then once again, backwards and forwards with our bone folder, ball tool, whatever we're using. And then we've created our score marks, which will make sure that those folds come in nice and straight and nice and easy. So, and you're going to go around do that with all of them. So I've already done this one before I started. And again, you're going to make sure that there's a nice score. Have I done that one? Yeah, no. So grab your ruler and make sure there's a nice crisp score on here as well, on that tab as well. Backwards and forwards, and that then breaks the fibre and you get a nice crisp line like that. So I've done that one, this one I've already done the score lines before we started, so I can just fold them along that score. So I've got my square, got my tabs. No, I haven't done that one either. So I'm going to pop that down and backwards and forwards, and that then will fold as well. There we go. I'll move that out the way, and what I will do is I will flip these over, because before I started I took my pencil and I've drawn in where all my score lines will go or should go. So as you can see on this one, we're scoring all of those tabs. We've put our triangles in and we've got the square for the base and the top. So that's a visual reference for you as to what it should look like with your scores done. Okay, once we've done that, we can get rid of our ruler and bone folder, and we can start gluing. Before we do that, we need a rubber. Now this is the internal workings that makes it jump. Now you don't have to use a rubber, an elastic band. So we're using an elastic band. Why did I say rubber? Don't know. Probably because I've got that in front of me. Eraser, as they would say in America, I think, isn't it? So you're going to get yourself an elastic band. This is the sort, now if you live in the Midlands, this is the sort that our posties use to bundle our letters together. And in fact, I did ask him if he had any that he was, because he often drops and discards them as he's walking on his rounds. And I did ask him if he had any, and he gave me a handful of them. So this is a posties one. Now that is about 3, and let me just flatten it out for you. So this one is 3, 1, 2, 3, and not quite 4 inches. I'd say 3 3/4 in lengths, folded in half. So I did try, you know, the ones that they use in the hair, the little thin ones. Didn't work, just crushed it. So so be careful, you want a nice size one, nothing too small. Right, now what we're going to do is we're going to line everything up. So you will see on two of them they've got a dot, so these two go together. So I'm going to start with those two and just line them up. So put our outer edges facing each other like that, so we know we're on the right track, and line them all up, and then bring in some good sticky glue. So this is Cosmic Shimmer glue, because it grabs quite well, quite quickly. So the only thing is, that annoys me. So, but anyway, so you're going to grab your glue and you're going to start gluing things together. So I like to start at this end and just don't be over generous, because we want it to grab quite quickly. So unless you want to wait a little while, just be careful, don't put too much on, because it can take a while to grab, and you don't want to be putting it under too much strain while it's drying. And putting the elastic band in a little bit early will put it under strain. Once you've got glue on those two tabs, just glue those two together, and then bring this one over into the top, so you're creating that. Okay, and as always, I'm just going to use my bone folder to push that in, because these are our starting points. And once you've got that, now you cannot carry on, because otherwise everything's going to be inside out. So you're going to open it up, whoops, open it up like that, reinforce that really well, and that's our one side glued. And now we have to carry on with these. So pop those two on with some glue. So just a little bit of glue on both of those. Again, I'm just going to use my thumb to spread that out so that we've got good contact along the whole of those two tabs. Then fold them in whilst lining them up with the next one. Because we've got this one already glued down, it's really easy now to line everything up. So push it down, come round the back and push it all together like that. Try and line it up as best as possible, and if you are out ever so slightly like I am, just because we're using glue, just pull it back and line it up again like that. Okay, and just once you've done those two, we're then going to come back to this one, and again we're going to fold these two in, glue these two first on there and there. Again, I'm going to use my thumb just to bring it around those tabs, fold everything in, making sure we're lining those up nicely like that. Last one on this side like that. Use your bone folder, push that glue into the card like that, and then we're going to leave this one open. This is our bit that we need to keep open so that we can attach our elastic. Right, so now we get fiddly. I'm going to open this up both sides like that. Actually, I'm going to use my bone folder just to hold them back like that. So I've got that open like that, and inside you will see the fiddly bit. You will see those tabs that we've created, you know, the strange shape. So we've got one there and we've got one on this side. And what we want to do is to hook our elastic over those. So you're going to go in. It's really difficult to kind of show you how to do this, but what I'll do is I'll hook it over this side, and then hopefully if we can bring it up to the camera, hopefully you'll be able to see what I mean. So you're hooking it over both pieces, and this is the fiddliest bit of all. So there we go, I've hooked it over both. So if I bring that up to the camera, hopefully you can see inside that I've hooked it. Oops, it's got a life of its own already. Hopefully you can see that I've hooked it over that strange tabs, both sides of that strange tab. Okay, so I'll bring in this. So this is our tab. You hook it across both of those, so it's around the whole thing. Okay, and once you've done that, you're going to hook it over the one on the other side. Now if it's a little bit too loose, as this one is, just put a turn in it. You might want to put 1 or even 2 turns in it, so that we don't want too much pressure. At this point we don't want it to be pulling on our pumpkin. So let's our twists come out. This is the fiddliest bit, and I'm just going to come in this side as well, just to hook it on. There we go, and I've got it hooked on across, so you can see it's hooked on there and hooked on there. And I just noticed that my tab this side hasn't grabbed, so I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on it, and whilst I've got the one side open I can push against it. So let's close that side open over. So this might be the good time to check all of your tabs have glued in place. Okay, and I've not quite gone to the edge on this one, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there. I do wonder if this glue is, I've had it for a while, so I do wonder if it's still as good as when I bought it. So there we go. So hopefully that's grabbed it. And once you've done that there shouldn't be too much pressure on the shape of your pumpkin, but if you start to press, so if you've got your fingers either side of your pumpkin, let me fold these bits over, got your pumpkin either side and you start to press, you should be able to feel some resistance. So that's your elastic band around probably the right tension. So fold those tabs over. Let's get some glue and pop our glue on both sides there. I'm going to be extra careful to make sure I get the edges and the sides. So, and then you're going to bring that down and bring those tabs together. So line them up, and you might want to flatten out your pumpkin, because that sometimes makes it a little bit easier, and it also makes sure that you can feel the tension between, oh, that tag's come on the outside, how's that happened? You can also feel the tension from the elastic band on there. So again, using my bone folder to push the glue into both sides of that card. And as you can see, my pumpkin shape is there. So I'm going to now put in the, now I think I did wrong with the stalk. I think now looking at what I've done and going back to the original pictures, I think what I should have done is glue the stalks together back to back to create that, so that we've got a double-sided stalk, and then done a little crease at the curved end. So we've got the wider end at the top and the curved end here, and I can see a little bit of white on the outside, so I can either come back in with my scissors and cut that, or I can grab my inks and ink that out. But I think doing it this way, so I've got a little bend there, I'll pop a little bit of glue on there, and that then goes where this circle is on the top. So there's the eyes, there's the circle, pop that on there, and I think that's probably a better stalk on there than this one, although I will get my inks once it's dried and get rid of those white edges on there. So that is another jumping pumpkin. Yay. So there you go. I think they're brilliant. I think they're great fun. Do get yourself onto the robives.com website and download his templates and, you know, all sorts of things. Brilliant website, great stuff, great fun, and a lot of it is these kind of movement projects as well. So anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. I'm going to print off some more of these now that I think I've got it right with the stalk. I'm going to print off some more so that we've got a whole cluster of them in the living room. And yeah, I'll speak to you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.